got an instructor and an apprentice here. Let me introduce them to you.
Hey guys, how are you?
This is
Good, you, Mr.
Robert.
President.
Where am I supposed to stand?
Anywhere you want.
I got.
Anywhere you would like.
Thank you, pal. How are
Good to
you?
meet you. It's an honor.
What's your name?
Nicholas Patton.
Good to see you, Nicholas.
Nice
How
to
are
meet you.
Okay.
What we have here is one of our PLC and motor control hands-on training labs. We use this with our apprentices in groups of up to 4 to teach them the systems that we use predominantly in this area of manufacturing and industrial. This type of system uses components like mechanical limit switches here, variable frequency drives, the PLC itself, multiple different relays. We just use it to streamline and make more efficient industrial processes, conveyor systems, fill type processes. Companies like P&G are big here in Cincinnati.
Yeah, they are big, aren't they? Right.
Procter & Gamble, so we do a lot of work with Procter & Gamble,
Yeah.
so they use a lot of our PLC system. We do have a...
By the way, P&G's endorsed the plan, the
infrastructure plan.
the whole infrastructure.
Yeah, they're big in town.
We do have an example here. So we use a system, obviously we don't have a conveyor system here
Excuse me. I'm blocking.
yeah,
Yeah.
let me get the shot. We don't have a conveyor system here, so we use lighting systems to actually show as if we were to use it. So Nicholas, if you would, if you hit the first start button, so if somebody were to start the conveyor system, you got a visual notification. Usually these systems are in a remote location, like a control room. So the person in the control room would see that the status is normal, system is operating. These would actually be out on the site, so everybody walking the plant would see it. If something were to go wrong, because we can program different fault settings, or if there was an emergency, if you hit the stop button, it would change, the system would shut down.
Now hit the stop button from the floor.
Correct.
Yeah.
Or the control room. Emergency stops go anywhere there would be any kind of a pinch point, any machinery.
Gotcha.
We can also program safety devices, so instead of an emergency stop, sometimes there's like a plexiglass shield.
Yep.
We worked at Sam Adams Brewery, so their conveyor system, as the stuff went into the pasteurizer, if they listed that shield, it would shut it down. We don't have any audio devices here, but you can hook up chimes, bells, whistles. So anybody in the plant would know if you were in the control room and hit it, that's fine. If you're in the control room and somebody else hits it, you want to know why.
Well, exactly.
So that's what the devices are for.
Now, how long does an apprentice work in this room? I mean, on these systems?
Typically, I mean, we do 2 nights a week, and our classes are about 2 hours each. So at most, I think PLCs is running on about 20 hours of instruction.
Yep.
About half of that would be classroom, the other half would be hands-on training.
Gotcha.
Ever since we've got our new
What got you
facility.
interested?
It's kind of the healthcare and the pension, you know,
Yeah.
actually being able to know that if I just did this, my family would be taken care of and I'd be able to retire.
We're very proud of you.
My son was in Army, Major, Bronze Star, Conspicuous Service Medal here in Iraq. 9 months in Kosovo.
The next one we're
Passed
gonna see
away.
is the fire alarm lab, where they learn how to hook
Yeah.
up fire alarms. So we'll walk over there.
Thank you again, Mr. President.
Hey,
It's an
come on.
honor.
Thank you. Thanks for
very
your
much.
service.
Not a problem.
It's very
Good
nice
luck to you,
meet
pal.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
He's a good one. Yeah, it's a pretty neat little thing. I think they do
Yeah.
about 16 weeks total on those things.
That's
2 nights. 2
yeah.
weeks, you know, 16 weeks altogether.
If the alarm goes off, they're going to run.
Right. Steven's our apprentice, and Jerry is the instructor. He's a 33-year member
Hey,
of
Steven.
the IBW.
Nice to meet you, Mr.
Good to
President.
see you. Jer,
Nice to meet you, Mr.
how are you,
President.
buddy? Good to
Very
see you.
good.
I
Very
guess
good.
I'm supposed to stand over here.
Yes. So Stephen's going to fill you in a little bit on the part of this program that is to an advantage to him and what he's gotten out of this so far. So I'm a fifth-year apprentice here. I took this class back in my third year,
We go over how to wire up fire alarm systems to be able to install them, make places like hospitals and office buildings safe and operable.
They're almost all commercial fire alarms you do?
So we do light commercial, very little residential,
Yeah,
but this system is pretty similar to something you might find in a residence, maybe a little more elaborate.
yeah.
Yes.
This over here is condensed down as into what you would see in, like I said, a hospital or an office building, to be able to work on it and learn how to install them efficiently and correctly.
So this is basically it's a 32-hour course split up into 16 hours of lab. This is our lab. When I started the lab, we had 10 stations. We expanded to 12. Now we're at 18. So I can get as many as 36 students in here, 2 to a station at a time. Basically, we come in here the first night. Everything's hooked up. We set some things off. Everybody gets to see how it works. We proceed to dismantle everything. And then in class, we go over specific parts of the system, what the system's needed, how it works. We then move back into lab and we actually do the installation, pull the wire, hook parts of it up. So it's a piece of a puzzle. We're building a puzzle out here versus looking at an entire system. It just breaks it down, go over each individual part and how they work, smoke detectors,
Name's Dan McCarthy.
Gotcha.
Hello, Courtney Roshan.
But it takes 5 years.
150 people working for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 5-year program.
Let me tell you something. I wonder why you guys are fucking this.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
That's
Think
the
about
truth.
it.
No doubt about it.
That's 4 years of college plus.
Yeah, yeah. And we come out, you got to do a couple other classes through a community college or through a state college, and then you can come out of here with an applied science degree.
Yeah. And by the way, one of the things we did was to make sure we're in a situation where it wasn't an apprentice program. It's
He would
nice.
have run the whole thing.
I'll be damned.
I've got Dan and Courtney in here. This is another motor control apparatus spot.
Hey, Courtney. How you doing, Dan?
Hello.
Good, how are you?
Good to see you. Okay, what are we doing here?
Well, we have a motor control setup. Basically, inside this instructional lab classroom, apprentices get to sit down every day in front of this equipment and then wire up stuff. That way they can go from the very simple controlled wiring diagrams into the more complex industrial stuff. And they get to actually touch, feel, and then hold all this stuff, and that way it makes more sense to them later on in the field. Even though sometimes the stuff's contained, they get to see how it actually works, bit and piece, every day. And they build up through those processes, and then they end up with the more complex stuff, which is the programmable logic controller. And
I was
then
going to ask you about it. It's a little more difficult, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And they actually get to
Above my pay grade.
write that program. And once they write that program, then they can download it and then wire that. And then after they wire it, the biggest thing is troubleshooting for them. And then that way they get that real-world experience of troubleshooting what they did. Does that work? Does it accomplish the stuff they need to make it accomplish?
What got you interested?
I have always kind of been a hands-on person, and once I realized college was financially not an option, I started looking around, and my grandfather actually recommended this to me. He worked with a few guys that were first years, and he's like, you could definitely do this, and came
It's a
the next
5-year
day.
program.
Yes.
5.
You all know that. It's a 5-year program, this apprenticeship. Now, I think it's important for people to know. There's a reason why unions are the best. Not being nice to y'all, because you're the best trained people in whatever field you're in. Nobody's as good.
I would agree.
No, I really mean it. I really genuinely mean it. You guys built the middle class. That's the reason why there is one. So how long have you been doing it?
I'm going into my 5th year right now. I'll be learning about this PLC this year.
Well, I tell you what, when you figure it out, call me, will you?
Yeah, definitely.
So these are all different units?
Yes, we basically have enough for each apprentice to have their own in front of them. That way, as we're doing this, everyone's not sharing. They have the same type of thing. And we change out the product. Those bits and pieces go from very simple pilot lights to complicated limit switches, photo eyes. We go into semiconductors. So we're really trying to stay cutting edge with the way, all of our process and manufacturing goes. And that way, we stay right there with them. And we can be leading edge.
What's your day job? Where are you?
I work at Paul Brown Stadium with United Electric.
Yeah, good for you. For you. Are you enjoying it?
Absolutely. I love it.
Yeah. Well, that's great. That's great. Well, the IBW is the best. I once said at one of your national conventions, if every IBW guy quit, and every single guy on Wall Street who's a trader quit, traders wouldn't affect much, but you guys, the country would come to a screeching halt. Think about it.
Yeah.
It would literally come to a halt. And by the way, don't be crazy like the rest of them, be climbing poles in the middle of a storm, putting up a nuisance.
No,
All right?
they won't let me do it right now. I'm still an apprentice.
Good. All right. Anyway, well, thank you. Now, how many students do you have come through, like in a regular?
A lot of times our classes vary, but normally we seat about 24 inside this room, and all 24 students are.
But how many times a week are they here?
Right now, because of the amount of students we have, because of the need for it in the industry, I teach 3 to 4 times a week. The students usually only go to school 2 times a week, and that's working 40 hours a week
That's
plus,
yeah, that's the point I
and
was trying
going to
make.
school at night. Yes.
That's the point I was trying to make when I asked what you were doing, where you were working, because you do a 40-hour-a-week job plus this apprentice job.
Yes. Yes. So
And
that's
for a while,
that's a lot.
For industry thought they could do the apprentice piece. No.
Thanks, Courtney. Dan, thank you so much.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys. Good
Thank
luck,
you.
Courtney.
It's nice
Wish
to
you all
meet
the
you, Mr.
best.
President.
Thank you.
It was an honor, sir.
Can you translate that for me?
Do you think you'll get an infrastructure deal, sir?
Yes, we will.
What do you